Hi everybody, this is Patty in Escondido, California. I'm zone 10A, and right now I want to go ahead and show you another part of my property, and this will be our avocado garden tour. So one thing is that we are on about an acre and a half, and all the avocado trees, most of the avocado trees that you're going to see are probably quite old. I would say they're more than 50 years old. Now there is one over here, which most of the trees have already been picked, but there is a couple that I'll be able to show you. But anyways, this is a Hass avocado tree, and most of our trees are going to be Hass. I do actually sell them to friends, most of my friends from work and from church. But anyways, this is the entrance in, and my husband built out of avocado branches a trellis for me, and on the trellis we're growing a grapevine, and this is only a year old, so it's doing quite well. I trained it to go up, and now it's starting to stretch over, and it comes all the way over here. I don't see any fruit on it yet, but based on what I've been reading, you're not supposed to let it fruit until the third year. So next year I'll have some grapes. Now this is actually a beautiful specimen. This is a Palo Verde tree, grows commonly in the desert, and it is enormous. This is a very large, beautiful tree, and when it's in bloom, oh, I see some flowers right now. It comes out with all these gorgeous yellow flowers, and it's really a sight to be seen. It's gorgeous. The reason why they call the Palo Verde tree is because it has a green tint to the trunk of the tree and all the branches, and it's a tree that grows really well in hot climates, and you probably see it in the desert. When you go to the desert, you probably see that variety. Brittle. So this right here is called a Brittlebush. This is also something that's kind of just native to the area, that just grows naturally here. I haven't really done too much in the grove, except for try to keep the weeds back as much as I can underneath the trees mostly. This one here is a bird of paradise bush. There's bird of paradise flowers that are a lot different from this, and they're more tropical, but this is actually called a bird of paradise bush. Here's one of our large avocado trees, and if you look straight in, you'll see an avocado still on the branch there. Most of them have been picked. So if you're not familiar to avocado trees, this heavy leaf underneath the tree, you're supposed to leave it, and the leaf becomes like mulch for the tree, and it actually helps to nourish the tree and keep in the water. Avocado trees do take quite a bit of water. They like the moisture, but they also need to be drained. So most avocado groves that you'll see are on a hill, and the reason why is so that they can drain. If they don't drain, then you get root rot. Now I did want to point out, because I'm seeing this, that this tree has already flowered, and when the flowers come off, you start to get these little tiny avocados peeking out. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's several of them. Underneath there's more. So this tree is gonna probably have a pretty strong showing of new avocados when next April comes around, or actually February probably. But the thing is that a lot of these will drop off by themselves, so it self prunes itself, and Also, if we should have any kind of a heat wave, it causes the fruit to drop because it stresses out the tree. So a lot of times we think we're going to have like a massive amount of avocados, and then the weather gets into triple digits and all the fruit starts to drop, and it's so sad. So over here I have this lovely patch of calla lilies. You're really not supposed to have anything growing underneath your avocado trees, but I just love them so much. But what I am trying to do is I'm trying to transplant them, and I actually have several little transplants all around my yard, but they're just so lovely. When they're fresh, they just look so elegant and so tall, and I love to put them in flower arrangements. I use them quite a bit. So these trees are just huge. They're huge, they're sprawling, and they are usually very, very good producers. Here's an example of a tree that my husband and I planted about 5 years ago, and it's had its struggles. It's finally putting on quite a few leaves, and we're finally starting to get fruit from it. It seems to be like it's finally established, but you can see how they just kind of grow over themselves. And avocado trees, you kind of want to keep them trimmed so that when you try to pick the fruit, it's not difficult. A lot of my trees are probably 20 feet tall, and even if you use an avocado stick to get the avocados, it's a chore. So if you can keep your trees low, it makes the fruit collection that much easier. Here's another one that we just planted about 5 years ago, and this one also struggled in the beginning, but now it seems to be happy. We are getting fruit off of this one as well. This one is a lime tree, and the lime tree is really happy here. My friend, actually, Glenda, gave me this tree maybe 3 years ago, and it is full of little baby fruit. So you can see how profusely this is blooming. It's all over the place. There's going to be limes for days on here. Here's an example of the flower on the lime tree. It's very cool. And then I do have some limes that I can pick. And when a lime actually turns yellow, that means it needs to get picked because it's ripe, definitely ripe. Here's another avocado tree. And another avocado tree. So this is what happens when it gets really hot. The leaves drop, and the branches get sunburned, and then they suffer. And if I was a good avocado mom, I would come out here and I would get all these removed. Now, I do that all the time, but we don't have a gardener, and I have a lot of trees to take care of, and a lot of property to take care of, so I'm just doing the best I can. But the avocados, this tree didn't really produce much this year. It seemed to be stressed out, but I see that it did bloom, and I do see a lot of babies on this tree as well this year. So we have another variety of avocado tree that I'll show you over here. This one right here is called a Zutano, and the Zutano avocado will have a real thin skin, and they get huge. So these avocados will easily be about that big, and they have a pretty large pit inside. They're the reason that we grew them wasn't really for the fruit. It was, to cross fertilize or cross pollinate the trees. So in an avocado grove, you should have a avocado type A and an avocado type B, and when you do that, it helps for the bees to pollinate the trees, and it helps you to produce better and stronger and more fruit. And so this is supposed to be the top type of avocado tree. Was it a type A or?
This would be.
This is a type B, and the Haas are type A's.
Right.
Also, we have more succulents growing under here, which really shouldn't be there. I think avocado trees, they steal the nutrients, and so I think it should be actually removed. So now there's another avocado tree here, and this one, I haven't picked a lot of the fruit, but if you want to see how much fruit we get, there is just a ton of it up in there. It's amazing. And over there's just a bunch. There's another avocado tree behind this one that has a beehive in it, and I was using the weed whacker and I got a little bit too close and the bee stung me. I'll put a picture up. Wasn't fun or pretty. Another thing that I have, which is just natural growing in here, are the sweet peas. I love sweet peas. They're beautiful little flowers, and they just grow here naturally on this fence. And they've actually jumped the fence, and they're growing by this other avocado tree, which has the bees in it. I'll show you where the bees are. So you might be able to see if you kind of hold the camera still. Right in the center of the bottom of the trunk, you can see a bunch of bees flying into the center there. Well, there's a big beehive there, and this has been there for several years, and the tree always produces lots of beautiful avocados, and so anyways, we're trying to let them stay there, but they can be aggressive. I've learned my lesson. Let me tell you. So here's another one of our bird of paradise bush, and this is another one that is just a volunteer, and we leave it because the honeybees do love it, and they come and they are attracted to this. We have a wonderful pomegranate tree. So this is what a pomegranate tree looks like, and these are the blooms, and the fruit comes right from these blooms, and you can see that it's starting to form the fruit. But I love this tree. It produces a ton of pomegranates, and they're beautiful red, round, heavy, they sweet, they're delicious. Here's one that you can kind of start seeing the shape of it, one here, but you can see all the buds on here. It's just going to be full of fruit. This is probably about 4 or 5 years old as well, and it's doing quite well. Okay, so I have a lot of avocado trees. I have a lot of different varieties of trees. I hope I'm not going on too long here, but this is actually mango tree. The mango tree was struggling really bad. It had a fungus, black spot, which it still has quite a few on here, but I don't think there's a single leaf on here that doesn't have a black spot. So I went ahead and I probably cut back about 75% of it. You can see the pile right there, and I sprayed it with my neem oil, and it seems to be doing okay. This was just recently. I did this maybe like less than a week ago, and you can see that there's lots of fruit that's trying to develop on the tips here, and once it starts to develop on here, see, this is how it looks. And then I kind of wait until these little things drop a little bit, and then I can go ahead and decide which ones are going to stay and which ones are going to leave, because I think this is way too many. You want to thin it out so that your fruit gets big enough to eat. And when this tree produces, it is just delicious. If you leave it on the tree to ripen, there's nothing better. But here's an example of what I was dealing with. The whole tree was full of this fungus, and I'm just hoping that it survives it, because I think it's very common, so I think it's fine. I just have to, when the new leaves come in, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I keep the neem oil treatment on it. I'm gonna pass over my vegetable garden, because that will be a separate tour. But I have a beautiful vegetable garden that I'll share with you on a future tour. Here's a tree that you may have never seen before, and I actually have 4 of them. This is a finger lime tree. Finger lime trees are from Australia, and this is what the fruit looks like. This is pretty small. Usually they're the size of your finger, and these will all get a lot bigger, but it's kind of not the season. But these are an example of what the flower looks like, and this they push out these interesting little fruits, and what they look like is this. So you can see all those little balls coming out. Those are little tiny, they call it lime caviar, and it's really good. So what I do when I make margaritas, I use it as a garnish. When I make key lime pie, I use it as a garnish. I'll have to put some pictures up of what I've done with it, at least one picture. But anyways, finger lime, it's really interesting. It's really a neat tree, and most people are delighted when they see it because they've never seen that before. Here's a blood orange tree. So blood oranges right here. This is really just kind of the residual from the end of the season, but a blood orange, I'm sure you can guess, has bright red fruit in it, and it's pretty good. So when I juice, I like to float some of this on the top of my juice, and it's kind of like a sunset. I love it. And look at how dark that is. So there should be some orange in here as well, but this has been on here a long time and it's probably past its prime. But again, this has got a lot of fruit growing on it. It's really good. Last thing I'm going to show you on this tour is a very sad looking Forte avocado tree, and I'm trying my best not to have to chop it down. I'm hoping that it will recover, but this thing used to be really beautiful, and the heat just annihilated it one year. We got into the triple digits, and it's okay to be in the triple digits for maybe a day or two, but when it goes on for maybe a week or more, 10 days, I believe, we had really bad hot weather. In a tree this size, there's no way, there's really nothing I can do except keep it watered, and that's really not enough, because really what the damage happens to it is the sun beating down on it will just burn it. But anyways, if y'all want to say a prayer for my tree, appreciate it, and I just want to thank you for coming along with me on this tour. Have a nice day. Bye.